It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. I am thankful that you're hanging out with us today as we start a brand new week here at the Daily Doug. It is a Monday, and y'all, you came to the right place. I wouldn't let you down. As in Mondays past, it is a Metal Monday, and I am happy that you are here because for the first time on the channel, we are looking at music from the band Pantera today, and the song of theirs that we are going to be looking at is called Cemetery Gates. Now, this song and this band have been on our radar for quite some time. In fact, it was back in February that my little brother, DJ Dan, suggested this one to me, and it's been on the list for most of the year. And the main reason why it is appearing on the channel now is because I have newfound interest based on some conversation that we had over on my Discord last week. We were talking about, or reminiscing about the life of John Lennon on the anniversary of when he was killed, and especially with the new Get Back documentary by the Beatles that has been released recently. And one of our Discord folks said, hey, you know, on December 8th, when John Lennon was killed, that same day of the calendar year is also an anniversary of when Dimebag Darrell was tragically killed. And naively, I kind of joined in the discussion and I said, who's Dimebag Darrell? And my patrons were like, dude, we love you, but come on now, it's Dimebag Darrell. And so they were telling me a little bit about him and his lingering just influence in the rock and metal world. And so I have newfound interest. And so that's why today we are looking at Cemetery Gates. This is the 5th track on their 1990 album called Cowboys from Hell. And it looks like this track is written by the band, and the band is Phil Anselmo on vocals, Dimebag Darrell on the guitars, Rex Brown on bass and keyboards, and Vinnie Paul on the drums. And as I was doing my read-in today, I've got the lyrics here. And by the way, y'all, spoiler alert, this is some heavy stuff that we're going to be talking about today. We're talking about death, we're talking about grief, we're talking about mortality, and potentially we're talking about suicide and suicidal thoughts. So I just wanted to make y'all aware of that. As I read in about Darrell, his birth name is Darrell Abbott. He co-founded the band with his brother Vinny, and on December 8th of 2004, he was shot while on stage, like performing a gig with his bandmates. And I'm like, I can't even, I'm trying to have some empathy. I'm like, I can't fathom the grief from the people that are in the band, that are close with the band, that are big fans. I mean, it's just tragic. So it has me looking back into this a little bit, and I'm really fascinated by the lyrics that we see, and I'm just curious to hear what this is all about. Even though this came out in 1990, y'all, we are going to be looking at the remastered studio recording that was released in 2010. So let us go on a journey, my friends. This is Pantera singing their song, Cemetery Gates. Here we go. Nice keyboard. Heavy keyboard. Oh. It's an Reverend, is this some conspiracy? Kind of a 4-chord song so far. Minor 1, 3, flat 7, flat 6 in the minor key. So that's an F sharp, up to A, down to E, down to D. I'm a man cut in half in this world, left in misery. Lovely chromatics. It's the E, the 7th of that chord, going down by half step again, and then landing on the 5th of the key. already the style of guitar playing is quite unique to me. New section. And we're in A. A minor. Instead of F sharp minor. That's an interesting move. It's a chromatic third relationship, but A, A is the common tone. They went back to F sharp. So they're pivoting around that A. That's really interesting. The Reverend, he turned to me without a tear in his eyes. This is a funeral. This is at a funeral, I think. Similar progression, just faster tempo. Wow. And when she died, I could not cry. The pride was in my soul. You left me incomplete, all alone. Back to the A minor riff. Back to F sharp. Fascinating. So they're using that A to go back and forth between F sharp minor and A minor. Really like the sound of Phil's vocals, by the way, too. I must reverse my life. Cannot live in the past and set my soul free. Belong to me at last. When she died, I should have cried and spared myself some pain. It's a high A. And then they use that A to turn it around and go into kind of this chorus in A minor. That's the flat 6 to the 5 to the 1. Believe the word, I will unlock my door and pass the cemetery gates. Heavy shit, y'all. Really soulful playing. You know, this came out in 1990. This reminds me of playing by the only guitar player, or the guitar player that comes to mind this reminds me of, is Eddie Van Halen. And that's high praise, y'all. Really good playing. Okay, back to the A minor. Wow. Intense. Whoa! That's a high E, y'all. higher. Oh, and the guitar is following him. Ooh. Oh, it's like a guitar screaming in anguish. And if it's gonna fade out, man, there's more song there. They need to keep playing. Yeah, that ended way too soon. I don't often say that on a Metal Monday, but that ended way too soon. Y'all, in the as far as my reaction goes, put this in the category of exceeds expectations. That was fascinating and really musically quite interesting. As I was saying, sort of in that, like while we were listening, they keep going back and forth between F sharp minor and A minor. That's a chromatic third relationship, but the A in between those, A is the third of the F sharp chord, and it's the root of the A chord, and the E is also in both of those keys, and quite frankly the D is as well. So the three chords, or four chords, that they're using in the F sharp progression, mainly the F sharp, the A, the E, and the D, the roots of those most of the time are still in that other key, in A, but except for the F sharp. And which is why it was such an interesting sound when they moved to F minor, because that high note is an F natural when they moved to A minor. But y'all, the what they're talking about is just gut-wrenching. It is a song about loss. It is a song about dealing with grief, dealing with mortality. At the beginning, it looks like they're at a funeral, and they're contemplating just awfulness, you know. And when she died, I couldn't cry. The pride was in my soul. You left me incomplete, all alone as the memories now unfold. Believe the word. I will unlock my door and pass the cemetery gates. So what does that mean? What are they talking about? I don't think it's overtly religious, even though they mention the Reverend a few times. I just think that the Reverend is there because they're setting this up as, you know, the funeral being sort of the place where this grieving is happening. But when we pass through our own cemetery gates, yeah, like I said before, y'all, and trigger warning. I think one very natural way to interpret that is that this person is contemplating committing suicide to join the person that they are missing, who is now not here anymore. It's just gut-wrenching. But I think that cemetery gates could also be a metaphor here for coming to terms with our own future. Whenever I walk into a cemetery, the feeling that I have is being met with my own mortality, being met with contemplating my own future, right? This is a situation that probably will end up happening to me, and it's disconcerting, isn't it? Contemplating our own mortality and dealing with we've been dealing with it for the last almost 2 years, right? How many millions and millions of people have we lost to this pandemic? It's just been traumatic. And there's the people outside with the leaf blowers getting in the middle of my video, but I shall continue on, my friends. The cemetery gates, I think the more that I thought about it, I was thinking, could this be a metaphor for us to sort of walk through and embrace who we now are, and continue forward with acceptance of what has happened before, and we walk through our own cemetery gate, and we are leaving, or not leaving all the baggage behind, but incorporating it in as who we are in the moment, and moving forward and embracing our future with courage and with conviction. There's one line in this that he says, "And when she died, I should have cried and spared myself some pain." There's one thing that I've learned in the last couple years is that you can't spare yourself from pain. Pain's going to happen. And crying is part of experiencing it. It's part of dealing with it. So when these things happen, when trauma happens, when pain happens, I think as soon as we are able to, we should cry. We should experience the pain because we need to live with it. We need to then talk about it and make it as manageable as we can with ourselves, because if not, we're just going to shove it down and the stuff will metastasize and blow up eventually, right? And probably in a spot where we're not really wanting it to surface. But when we can, I think really experiencing and going through the feelings that we're feeling, talking about them, becoming aware of them, whether it's with a therapist, a family member, a friend, a spiritual leader, whoever, right? Talking about this stuff is as good a way forward and sort of dealing with these ideas of loss and grief and death and mortality in a way that can empower us and just inform us of who we are, because we are the product of our own experiences, right, individually. And wow, these guys have made me think quite heavily today, my friends. The music was fascinating. I really, really enjoyed it. And holy crap, the high notes from Phil at the end. And I really did love the way that the guitar sort of follows those high vocal notes. It sounds great. It's a hard subject matter, but I think a worthy one. So y'all, I appreciate you being with me here on a Metal Monday. Sometimes these metal songs are really intense like this. And I have a feeling, or the thing that I've noticed over this past year of doing all of these reactions, is getting to know this repertoire. This is the musical outlet for the emotions of people who enjoy this sound, this style of music, as the music that reaches them. And everybody deals with loss. Everybody deals with pain and grief. And some people deal with it by listening to classical music. And some people deal with it by listening to ambient or meditative music. Some people deal with it by listening to show tunes. And some people listen to it by listening to very heavy metal music. And these themes are important to include in our art, in our sonic art, to go with us on our journey, no matter if you like Stephen Sondheim or Dimebag Darrell, right? They're all relevant and I think important in our art. So wonderful. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. This has been heavy. If you are contemplating suicide or are having thoughts, just know that you are worthy, and the world needs you. Y'all, talk to your friends, talk to your therapist, talk to people, reach out. Okay. Reach out to me. We're all in this together, my friends. Whew, heavy stuff on a Monday, but I am very thankful to have experienced that. So thanks, DJ Dan, for this selection. Always a powerful piece when it's a DJ Dan selection. So thanks, y'all. We'll see you next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.